Hey guys, we are going to work on two worksheets in this video. On this worksheet, on the first side, we're going to work on answering questions about box plots. Worksheets, and make sure you're ready to go. So let's start with this one where we're going to answer questions here. So what we're going to do first, I'm going to try this here, is I want you to do this top part. So questions 1 through 6 are going to be on the box plot at the top. Now how I want you to do it is I want you to go through and try your best on 1 through 6. If you don't know it, leave a question mark, but try it. It doesn't hurt. And then watch the video as I go over these questions. All right, see how many you can get. All right, pause the video, do 1 through 6 now. All right, so let's start talking about questions 1 through 6. So the first one says, what is the range? Now to find range, remember, it's the biggest number minus the smallest number. So if I look here, the biggest number is my maximum is 27. The smallest number is my minimum is 10. And 27 minus 10 is 17. Next, question 2, what is the median? Now the median is the middle line in that box here, which is 18. Question 3 says 13 would be called the blank. All right, so let me look up. I'm going to find 13. Let me erase some of that stuff there. So 13 I see is right here. So basically, I'm answering what this number would be. So if you know anything about box plots, that dot right at the beginning of the box is called the first quartile. So I'm just going to put Q1. Now 4 says, what percent of numbers are between 21 and 17? So I'm going to mark, I'll switch to blue for this one. I'm going to mark 21 right here. And 17, ooh, that should be, oh, I'm sorry, 21 and 27. I don't know what I'm thinking. 21 and 27, 27's right there. So if you remember, in every section of a box plot is 25%. So this whisker is 25, this whisker is 25%, this whisker is 25%, and this whisker is 25%. So if you know that, if I'm looking at this section here from 21 through 27, you would say 25% of the data is there. Okay, question 5 says, what is the third quartile, Q3? So let me erase some of my slop here. So the third quartile, if you know anything about box plots, is going to be right here where my arrow is pointing. So that's Q3. And if I look down at the number, here's 20, so that must be 21. Okay, and question 6, what is the interquartile range? Now remember, interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. So the third quartile is 21, minus the first quartile is 13, and 21 minus 13 is 8. So how did you do on 1 through 6? Did you get them all? Did you miss any? Did you fix your mistakes? That's all that matters here, because we're going to try this again. Now, here is your job. Pause the video. You are now going to do the bottom half of the worksheet. So when you pause your video, answer 7 through 13 and restart it, and we'll go over them. Let's see if you can get them all right this time. Okay, go. All right, so how'd you do? Let's start with number 17. What is the first quartile? So I hope you know the first quartile is right where that purple dot is, which would be 8. Okay, mark it right or wrong. Next question, what do you call 18? So let me highlight 18. Here is 18, which would be this dot right there. Now, I'm hoping you knew it was the maximum. But if you really know, maximum, it is also called the upper extreme. So either one of those would be okay. So maximum or upper extreme. 9. What is the median? Well, the median, let me erase some of the slop up here so we can see, get a fresh start. So the median is the line in the middle of the box. And if I go down, ooh, this one's a little tricky. So this line would be 10, right? So this looks like it's right in the middle at 10.5. So 10.5, remember you can also write that as 10.5. Did you get that one? That was a little bit tricky. All right, next one, what is the range? Big minus little. So the biggest number is 18. The smallest number is 4. And 18 minus 4 is 14. So did you have 14 as your range? All right, next question. We're on to number 11. What percentage of the numbers are from 4 through 15? So I'm going to erase some of my slop up here, and we're going to look at 4 through 15. Let me get my highlighter ready. So here is 4, here is 15. So basically, what percentage of numbers are in that purple shaded region? Now remember, each section is 25%, so that's 25%, 25%, 25%. Add those together, and you should have 75% as your answer. Okay, if you had that one, give yourself a C. Next one, let's go on to number 12. What percentage of numbers are from 15 through 18? So let me get my highlighter ready. So here is 15. Oop, that's not my highlighter. Here is 15. Here is 18. So what percentage of numbers are there? Well, that's only one section, so that's 25%. Your answer should be 25%. And the last one, what is the interquartile range? All right, so remember, interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1, right? So let's find Q3 and Q1. Now, Q3 is right here at 15, minus Q1 is right here at 8, and 15 minus 8 is 7. So did you have 7 for the interquartile range? So how did you do on those? Did you get them all right? Did you get tricked on that 10.5 one for number 9? All right, if you got them, great. If not, you fix your mistakes and you learn from it, and we are moving on to the next page. And on the second side, we're going to work on making some box plots together. So make sure you have both of these. All right, so now here's what we're going to do. This is how we're going to set it up. This video, we are only going to work on 1 through 4. So 5, 6, and 7, we're not going to do with the video. So how I want you to do this is this. I'm going to give you a couple choices. So choice 1 is if you are confident in how you make box and whisker plots. You can go and do 1, 2, 3, and 4 and do them on your own, and then just watch the video to see if you are right and correct mistakes. Now, choice 2 is if you are not as confident, you're going to do them with me. So I'll give you directions to pause, start, try something, and do them with me. So decide what you want to do. If you want to do them on your own, pause, get started now, and restart it when you're ready. If not, stick with me, and let's get started with number 1. So by the time we get through 1 and 4, I want you to be an expert at it by the time you get to number 4. So starting with number 1, it says create a box plot from the set of numbers. Now, remember, to do a box plot, you are going to need these 5 things. You're going to need your minimum. You're going to need your maximum. Remember, biggest and smallest number. You're going to need Q1. You're going to need, where can I write this? Q3. And you're going to need your median. If you get those 5 numbers, you just got to put them as dots on your number line. So what I want you to do is pause the video and find those 5 things with this list of numbers here. Remember, you got to put them in least to greatest order. Okay, go ahead, pause it, restart it when you have those 5 things. Go. Okay, so I have my numbers in least to greatest order. Let's see how you did finding those 5 things. So first off, the median is going to be the middle of these 6 numbers. So somewhere, if I split my numbers in half, right there, the median's got to be between 10 and 11, which is 10.5. So did you have 10.5 as your median? Let me write that down. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, minimum and maximum are easy. So the minimum is 7, maximum is 18. Don't have to think too hard about those because it's just the smallest and the biggest number. Now Q1 and Q3, let me take a look at my numbers. Q1 is going to be the middle of the lower half, which is 9. And Q3 is going to be the middle of the upper half, which is 12. So, did you get the 5 numbers? Let me write those down. Q1 was 9 and Q3 was 12. Okay, next step. If you have those 5 numbers, is making your box plot. So we're going to start by putting a dot above those 5 numbers. So why don't I switch over to red to make it a little more visible. So the minimum is 7, so that's right here. The maximum is 18, so that's right here. And the first quartile is 9, which is right here. The third quartile is 12, which is right here. And the median is 10.5. So it's between 10 and 11 right there. Okay, now let me zoom in. All right, last thing. Remember how to make them. The first two dots, you draw a line. The last two dots, you connect with a line. In between the lines, you draw your box. And your median goes right there. So that's what your box plot should look like for number 1. If you had that, great, you're kicking butt. Now, if you're able to get that one, I think you could probably go on and try 2, 3, and 4 on your own. If not, let's say you made a mistake. You're going to do problem 2 with me. All right, so if you're sticking with me, let's get started. First thing, I want you to find the minimum, maximum, Q1, Q3, and median of these numbers. Pause the video to do that. Restart it when you're done. Go. All right, so let's see how you did here. Let me draw. I want to get a box there. All right, I'm going to get some workspace here to do that. So here's my workspace. So first off, I'm going to put the numbers in least to greatest order. So I have 5, 9, 15, 15, 19, and 20. Okay, I got them all. Now, split my numbers in half. Let me switch over to red here. Okay, now that means the median is going to be between 15 and 15, which guess what? Is just going to be 15. So your median is 15. Your minimum and your maximum are your smallest and biggest numbers. So your minimum is 5 and your maximum is 20. Now Q1 and Q3. So let's start with the lower half of the numbers here. Q1 is the middle of these 3 numbers, which is 9. And Q3 is the middle of these 3 numbers, which is 19. All right, how did you deal with getting your numbers? Because now I'm going to move that down here, shrink it up so I can do my box plot on number 2. All right, get ready. Okay, I have my workspace ready, so let's start. The minimum was 5. I'm going to put my dot here. The maximum was 20. I'm going to put my dot here. So I got those. The median is 15. Q1 is 9. And Q3 is 19. All right, there are my dots. Now, let me zoom in. And it's time to connect the dots. Remember, the last 2 dots get connected with a whisker, and the first 2 dots get connected with a whisker. Your box goes in between them and a line through the median. So, does your box plot look like that? All right, now, here's where you're at. If you had it right, good. If not, you're fixing your mistakes. If you had that one completely right, then I think you're able to try 3 and 4 on your own. If not, stick with me. All right, so as we go over number 3, if you're doing this with me, I'm going to have you find minimum, maximum, Q1, Q3, and median of these numbers. Pause it and do that. Go. All right, so I have the numbers in least to greatest order. So let's get started here. First off, the minimum is 28. The maximum is 80. Remember, it's just the smallest and the biggest number. The median has got to be in between here. So remember, to find in the middle of 2 numbers, you can add them up, and 38 plus 50 is 88, and divide by 2. And 88 divided by 2 is 44. So your median is 44. Now Q1 is the middle of the lower half, so it's 36. And Q3 is the middle of the upper half, so it's 73. All right, so now let's put those numbers on our number line. So let me go out here. So our minimum is going to be 28. Let me try to zoom well here. All right, I think I got it. So put a dot at the 28, which is right there. Our maximum is all the way over here at 80. Okay, the median is at 44. Q1 is at 36. And Q3 is at 73. And I'm going to fix where the 80 is because I have that up a little too high there. Okay, so let me put my dot at 80. All right, so now I'm going to make my box plot. And let me get rid of this because it's in the way of my box plot here. And let me zoom in as much as I can. Okay. All right, so remember, have a whisker connect your last two dots and your first two dots. And then have a box go from in between your whiskers. So I'll try to draw this as neat as I can. And your median, you draw a line through the box of that middle dot. All right, that's number 3. Okay, so now here's your job. Your job is to do number 4 all by yourself. No matter what, go. All right, so let's get started. So I put the numbers in least to greatest order, and I have minimum, maximum, Q1. Oops, I should have Q3 there, but I wrote maximum again. Q1, median, and the Q3 lines ready to go. So let's get started. Minimum and maximum, easy. 9 and 19, the smallest and biggest number. Now, as far as the median, if I split my numbers in half, it's got to be between the 14 and the 16, which would be 15. So your median is 15. Q1, it's got to be the middle of these 3 numbers here. Here's your lower half. So it's got to be 13. So Q1 is 13. And Q3 has got to be the middle of these 3 numbers, which is 19. All right, so let me write those down. So we have our 5 numbers. Now it's time to draw your dots and make your box plot. So your minimum is at 9. Your maximum is at 19. Your median is at 15. Q1 is at 13. And Q3 is at 19. Did you get your dots in the right spot? Next, I'm going to draw some lines. Ready? Whisker, whisker. Here's your box. Here's your median. So, how'd you do? Did you get it right? Okay, by now I said I want you to be experts at making box plots, so I hope you know how to do them now. Don't do 5, 6, and 7 because we may use those as extra practice on another day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the video. Later.